America? It's Lee Wyrick here. Today I just want to touch on a few topics of interest that have been going on around the country. Some things and some people, and just make a few comments, lay out a few points, and just state my case. First thing, coronavirus. Oh my gosh, coronavirus. Okay. Alright. Take a deep breath. Calm down. There is a major scare tactic going on in the media right now, where the CDC is not helping. I don't know where these people get the dang license, but telling people not to send their kids to school, not to go to work, and to communicate through FaceTime is not a great way to make people feel better and make people feel like everything's going to be all right. It's not that deadly. Recently, we had a radio talk show host by the name of Rush Limbaugh, or L. Rushbo, who got into some hot water because he compared it to the common cold. Well, CNN had a guy on there who was supposed to be the head of some organization that knew all about this virus, and they basically thought he would refute that. He could not. He could not refute that. So the coronavirus, it is not the common cold, but it is very similar to the common cold or the flu. The way the coronavirus works, I'm no expert, but as I understand it, doing my homework, the way the coronavirus works is that you get it, you either survive it, or you die. And that's pretty much the way anything works. The flu, pneumonia, you survive it or you die. So it's not as big a deal as the media would have you believe, and I think it is well under control here in America, and it is not time to panic. And I think the CDC and the media needs to take a chill pill and stop trying to ridiculously blame Donald Trump for a disease. Now, there are many different theories as to how the virus originated. The lab in China, virus out of control, population control. There's a lot of stories, some of them believable, some of them not believable, circulating around. But one thing you have to know is just calm down. The facts are in focus. The fatality rate is not high. If you get it, chances are you will survive. So don't get into a frenzy. Do not panic. We only have 58 cases here in the U.S. Nobody has died here in the U.S. of the coronavirus. Everything is under control. And we have a guy who knows what he's doing in office. So just calm down. My second point. Bernie Sanders. What can I say about this guy? I've been wanting to do a video and talk about Bernie Sanders for quite some time. I could rail on and on about Bernie Sanders being an old red Marxist and a fake Jew who surrounds himself with anti-Semites like Omar Tlaib and Sarsour, but I'm just going to keep it very short. This guy hates America. He loves communist countries. You say, well, Lee, how does he hate America? I mean, he's never said, I hate America. Well, find me a video where he has praised America. Because I can tell you something right now. I can find a lot of videos where he has praised Castro, and where he's praised Cuba, and where he talked about how a literacy program made up for the fact that millions were killed in Castro's regime. This guy's a nut. Crazy Bernie. Find me one speech where he praises America. He's not a socialist. He's not a democratic socialist, whatever the devil that is. He's a Marxist. He's a Marxist, and he follows Marx's playbook verbatim. According to a recent poll, his policies, if he were to by some miracle become president, he would make us, in the U.S., 97% less free than we are right now in this moment. I don't know about you, but I do not want that. This guy, Joe Biden, Creepy Joe, is pretty creepy. But Bernie Sanders must be taking a few cues from Creepy Joe Biden because he wrote a pretty dang creepy essay in his 30s. He was always this, socialist, Marxist college student who basically, just like our generation today, he had a lot of what he thought were good ideas and nobody was going to convince him otherwise. This is a line from his essay. These are not my words. These are words that Bernie Sanders actually wrote on a piece of paper for an essay. A woman having intercourse with her man, fantasizing being raped by 4 men. If is that creepy? I mean, is it just me or is that creepy? So, besides being a creep, besides being completely crazy and wanting to destroy our economy and implement so-called socialism, socialism is just communism. It hasn't yet picked up a gun. Remember that. He has no clue what his programs will cost. He's an old red Marxist, and I'm going to get backlash for calling him a fake Jew. Well, tell me something. If you are a Jew, and if you are actually Jewish, would you surround yourself with people who hate Jews? Like Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and Linda Sarsour? Would you have support from the anti-Semite crowd if you were a Jew? Now let's get to the nomination. Will the Democrats choose Bernie? I don't know. I don't know what the DNC will choose. I don't think they have many options, and I don't think they are considering Bernie, but if they have to bite the bullet and get Bernie in there, they will, and it'll be the worst decision they've ever made because it will probably result in the worst landslide the Democratic Party has ever seen, with Trump probably taking 50 to 60% of the vote, because America is not ready for a socialist president, and we will not vote for a socialist president, and we are in no wise going to stand by and watch a socialist president be elected, so we are not going to elect a democratic socialist president. They can forget it. There are too many examples. Venezuela, Russia, China. Socialism doesn't work and always leads to totalitarianism. And the Republicans who voted for him just to shake up the process, this Operation Chaos nonsense where you vote for him to give him a little false hope, you better be careful what you wish for. If Bernie Sanders does get the nomination, chances are Trump will steamroll him. But what if he don't? What if you do get what you voted for in the caucus? What if you do get what you voted for in the mock election before the election? What if Bernie Sanders gets the nomination and actually wins? Be careful what you wish for and tread lightly. And remember, a vote for Bernie Sanders in the mock election, if you vote Democrat in the mock election just to give Bernie Sanders some false hope, you can't vote locally for a Republican. You have to vote for a Democrat. You can't. At least that's how it is in the state of Tennessee. Let's get real quick to another case here. Roger Stone. Honestly, I don't know much about the guy. I know he was a Trump ally. I know he's a little bit kooky. Roger is a little bit of a kook, but does he deserve 9 years in prison? No. Does he deserve 3 years in prison? Probably not. What exactly did he do? Well, he lied to Congress. Big deal. They've been lying to us for how long? So, but that's not really what I wanted to talk about. I mean, yeah, he lied to Congress. Okay, he's a little bit of a kook. Okay, you can't get arrested for being a kook. Why in the blue heck did they have frogmen out in his backyard? Why did they have basically a SEAL team coming in to get him like they were trying to get a armed terrorist? Roger Stone probably does not own firearms, and he did not pose any threat whatsoever. So why in the blue heck did they have such a show? I'll tell you why. Because they wanted to intimidate. They wanted to show what happens to people who support Trump. They wanted to have a fear factor, just like they have with the coronavirus. Believe me, folks, the power of media is one of the greatest powers in the world. The media can scare the population into doing literally anything. And if you get the population scared enough, well, they'll do literally anything. Just look at some examples, which I could give you several examples, of communist totalitarian dictatorships where the media and propaganda has prompted the citizens and the soldiers and the armies of communist party armies to do unimaginable things, heinous crimes against humanity. And we cannot have a one-sided justice system. People like Roger Stone, when you have people like Amy Berman Jackson, who is an absolute liberal hack, when you have people like Tomika Hart, who's a forewoman in a case who's an absolute liberal hack, we can't have judges and forewomen in cases that act, or four men in cases that actually have a bias against the person. Politics doesn't matter whenever it comes to a crime. Nobody gives a darn about politics when it comes to a trial. People don't want to talk about politics when it comes to a trial. When you become a juror or when you are serving as a judge in a trial, you are supposed to lay aside all politics and all personal biases, and you are supposed to perform your duty. And that's all I have to say. Peace.